What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Episode 36 today of the Texans franchise, and we are in week 8. You guys know what week 8 means in the NFL world. That means it is trade deadline week, and I have got some stories to go over for you before we get to our game today that we're going to watch. And yes, you see that I am past week 7. We ended in week 6 after the victory over the Jaguars. But I realized that I made a mistake when I set up the franchise file, and this is something that is very important when it comes to the longevity of your franchise. And I'm actually thinking about doing a video about this, and I don't know if it's going to be dropped yet before this video does, because I've told you guys in the past, I like to record ahead of time. So if it hasn't come out yet, there will be one coming out showing exactly how I set up my franchise and how to have a immersive story to work with in your franchise. And this is a big part of it that I completely forgot. I didn't have the training for the CPU teams set to like half pad split or full pad split. And what that means is that they were all defaulted to push all the XP to the starters. And that's not good, because then the backups and the reserves and the young guys that aren't playing right away don't get a chance to even improve. So I had to go through all the teams, and I had to turn back on progressive fatigue, turn back on a couple of the settings for all 31 teams. It's a lot of work. But I had to go back and I had to set all that up. Then I had to simulate a week, which is going past week 7, because I didn't think of that before I skipped to week 7. And then I had to change the frequency of every single team for practice, and I put everybody to full pad split. And that's what I'm also running as well right now, is full pad split. And then I went back and turned off progressive fatigue after I finished everybody's training. So now I can't adjust the intensity of practice, but they hold the last setting, so everybody will have full pad split going forward. So now with that being done, I should see a lot more variety in the younger players getting better. That is my fault for doing that. So hopefully I can rectify that in the next season or two. I did go ahead and just look through some stats of the certain players, and I just upped some of them a little bit. Like if they were a 70, I brought them to a 72 or 73 or something to try and offset the damage that I did for a lot of the teams. And so, like I said, it's all just for the longevity of the franchise. There were also some trades that happened around the league that I wanted to share with you guys before we dive into potentially moving on from a player or two of our own. And the first trade was Jalen Ramsey. Going from the Rams to the Bears currently sitting at 4-2 on the season. They're pushing for a playoff spot, and Ramsey was sitting on the Rams with a losing record and a team that is in desperate need of a rebuild, and he wanted out. And in exchange for Jalen Ramsey, the Rams received corner Kyler Gordon, a 3rd round pick, and middle linebacker Sean Clarkson. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't seem like a very big trade for the Rams, but it really is. Kyler Gordon's a 79 overall, and Sean Clarkson is a 3rd-year pro at 77 overall. So they end up getting 2 starters out of that situation. They get rid of a disgruntled corner, and they find themselves with a 3rd-round pick going into the offseason extra that they did not have. So I think it was a really good trade for the Rams. Ramsey sort of forcing his way out. They didn't have much of a choice in the matter. Another case of a team trying to get as good as possible heading into the back half of the season was the 49ers. They are one of the top teams in the league right now, overall wise and record wise, and they were sort of lacking at strong safety. So they went ahead with the Seahawks and made a trade for Jamal Adams, another player in the last year of his deal. And in exchange for this, the Seahawks received a 3rd round pick, a 6th round pick, and wide receiver Danny Gray that the 49ers had. He was their 4th or 5th receiver, and it just adds to the receiving core that the Seahawks are trying to build up as they transition to their next phase. The Seahawks were not done yet either. They ended up moving on from DK Metcalf as well, another player in the final year of his contract. And the reason for this is quite simple. The Seahawks are in the sort of the same boat right now as the Rams are. They are just rebuilding. DK, 93 overall, he's 27. The Titans going all in to bring him in to give a bunch of weapons to the young quarterback, Dennis Young, who in his 3rd year is now a 78 overall. They fully believe that he is going to be the guy for the future. And now this offense becomes super dangerous with Derrick Henry still hitting tow. Now they have their big body receiver to go along with Brandon Ayuk, who is currently injured. But Treylon Burks has just really not come along yet. At 25, he's still only an 81. And Clayton Mayweather as well, the drafted rookie. So they have a stout offense now that they are planning to wreak havoc with. And sitting at 4-3, they are in a good spot right now, especially in the division, to still make a move this year. And then they wanted to go all in. In exchange for this, the Seahawks ended up receiving a first-round pick. And longtime Packer Aaron Jones also on the move. The Packers in our world definitely are in need of some serious rebuilding. They have very little on the offensive side of the ball. Aaron Jones remained, but at this point in his career, he wants to win, and he wants to win now. The Bills, one of the better teams. They had James Cook. They had a couple of other guys, but none of them were actually producing. Most of them 3 yards a carry or less on the season. Aaron Jones comes over here, and now he gets a chance to go and do some damage with the Buffalo Bills. But the Packers did get a pretty quality player out of the Bills. The Bills right now have some pretty good safeties. Tim Redmond was drafted. He's in his third year and really is just sitting on the bench. They have 2 other young guys at free safety, plus they have only a 29-year-old at strong safety with the Bills. So Redmond was sort of the odd man out. He comes over here to Green Bay, where he is going to get a chance to take over for Adrian Amos, who I believe is going to be gone after this year yet. I haven't made that decision final quite yet. But now they've got a safety for the future to build up. They also have a second-round pick that they got in exchange for Aaron Jones, giving up a 5th-round pick to the Bills. The Packers continue to get a little bit younger too, trading for Nick Bonito from the Denver Broncos, who is stuck behind a couple of really good linebackers that the Broncos have drafted since the start of this franchise. And they had no edge rusher. He is the best edge rusher they have on this team already. The Broncos got a 4th and a 6th-round pick from the Packers in exchange. And now it's on to our team. It is week 8. It is the final week of being able to potentially trade some players, and I got an itchy feeling to do some trading. I mean, we're sitting at 3-4 after the sim win. We're 3rd place in our division. We're 2 games back from the Titans. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I do know that I want to move on from Dameon Pierce, though. I've made that decision. Sweet is just going to be the guy that we're going to try to build into the power back. We know Pierman is going to be the guy in the future to be the 3rd down back and the elusive back. Pierce's time is up. His contract is up. I think it's best for us to move on. And honestly, now, given the trades that just took place, we do have a pretty quality place where we can send him and he can start right away. And that move is with the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers just moved on from Aaron Jones. We are no longer needing the services of Dameon Pierce. He wants to start. He still has a chance to start with the Green Bay Packers. He's still young enough to go through this process with them as they find a quarterback and build upon the offensive line that's getting a little bit older. So in exchange for them, I ran it through the trade calculator that I have, and this is going to be a fair trade. We're actually losing on this trade, but I figured maybe the calculator isn't taking into account how much running backs have been devalued. So him for a 3rd and then us also sending a 6th in compensation, I think is a fair trade considering the market. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to push this trade through. And there we go. Dameon Pierce is now a Green Bay Packer. We bring in an extra 3rd-round pick and we send off a 6th-round pick in the process. After considering it a little bit more, I do feel, however, that one way to keep things interesting is if there is a re-sign interest that is just not there whatsoever, it may be smart to move on from that player instead of having to overpay for them. Now, I was considering just letting Darius Slayton fall off the roster, but if we can get something in return for him now, then let somebody like Nico Collins and Jason Dahl get more playing time, I am definitely open to that. So I think it is a good opportunity for us to move on from him right now. And I was able to find a perfect home for Darius Slayton with the Dallas Cowboys. His motivations, the one thing we have going for us is the no income taxes, which he would still keep because he's still in Dallas. Values financials, I'm sure the Cowboys will be able to pay him some money. And then the scheme fit is a huge impact on his motivations, and we do not fit that scheme fit, but the Cowboys do. Now, I could cheat the system and change his scheme, but that's sort of cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trade him to the team that actually runs the scheme he wants to be in, and that is a vertical threat. He wants to be a deep threat in a zone, like a vertical zone run type of book, and that's exactly what the Cowboys are running. And considering we're giving up a huge playmaker, I wanted to make sure we were getting something good out of it. So I went ahead and I used this calculator to come up with a good trade to where we could get at least a second-round pick for him. And we can do that if we give up a fourth-round pick this year, which is okay because we do have a couple of thirds, and we also have an extra first from the last draft when we traded down. So overall, we're in a really good spot draft-wise, and I think this is a solid trade for both sides. Now, I went ahead and added Kyle Allen just because they're going to cut somebody, and it's going to end up being Allen because he's the lowest overall player on the team when I do the trade. So I figured, why not just kill two birds with one stone, and I'll just cut him myself. So that's why he's added on the trade. I do not plan on keeping him whatsoever. One of the last players that I am looking to move on from is Christian Harris, somebody that is just not going to have a chance to play for us. I still can't remember if I ended up trading him or cutting him in the last Texans franchise before the whole franchise server meltdown. Regardless of if I did that or not, he's still a 74 overall. He's 24 years old. He could definitely play on a team. And this league right now is actually in need of middle linebacker. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to see if we can get somebody to bite on him. The Patriots run a 3-4, and they have Ben Ross as a 73 overall. So him and Christian Harris together will be able to grow a little bit, and hopefully they can make something good out of that. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can put together a trade here with the Patriots. And this is the trade that I came up with. If we can bring on Minter at middle linebacker here, he ends up just replacing Harris on the depth chart for now, and then we'll get a 6th-round pick in return. And I think that is all of the trading that we're going to be doing today. I'm sort of happy that we got rid of some of those players. We're starting to really transition into the next phase of this franchise where we have found some really quality pieces in the draft and we're starting to build them up, and we're moving on from some of the players that were here initially and through some of the first free agency that we went through just to try and re-up this team immediately and see if we could do something with it. Unfortunately, it did not work out for us, which is why we're sitting here at 3-4 and still trying to find some answers. But now I think we'll have a good opportunity to see what we got with the rest of this team as the season goes on, and we'll see if we can end up salvaging the season or if it ends up being more of a rebuild year. I have still not decided on what we're going to do with Jalen Pitre yet, but I do know that I want to keep him for the rest of the season at the very least, and then we'll make that decision after the season ends. Since we were able to double up on some positions, it does look like we've actually unlocked quite a bit for some of the safeties, which is what I was hoping to find out, because this is a potential spot for us to go in the draft. Maybe we want to go safety and just move it out of the way. I would like to know more about Farley and Chambers up here in the strong safety category, because as you can see, at least Chambers is zoned, which means he would fit our scheme at the free safety. But for now, we have some here, so let's take a look and see what we got. Courtney Howard is the first one. He's 5'11", 210. I'm not a fan of him being too short. That just feels like more of a run support type of role, and you can see that he's hybrid. Man coverage is very good though, but his zone is a little bit lacking, and that is what he's going to be playing for us for the most part. Also the speed, solid to good, decent to solid, decent to solid. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff that jumps off the page to me here. He's got good play rec, he's got good awareness, he's got good tackling. This to me feels like a strong safety role more than anything. Jalen Elliott here as well, sort of the same situation. He is 6'2", 208, so a little bit better of a build, but he's still hybrid. And we also just don't have a lot of his stuff unlocked yet. Eddie Bodden is the first safety I saw that does not have a C zone. He's got B zone, but the issue is now he's 5'9", which makes it even more difficult. And his speed is still not good. Solid to good speed, marginal to decent acceleration, marginal to decent change of direction. I don't think this is going to be a good fit for us. I'm not seeing much else here that fit the zone category. He is actually the only one in this whole free safety group that fits it for the most part, unless we're going to the undrafted guys. But the top guy here at strong safety is a zone safety, and that's Julian Chambers. Chambers is 6 foot 201, 21 out of USC. And we do know for a fact that his speed and excel is better than the last guy's. Good to great, good to great, good to great, it looks like. So that's good. Pretty solid down the board. And oh, look at that. A awareness, and we know that he's got B zone, so that is a good thing. Play rec is a little bit lacking. We don't know what the tackling is yet. But if we're looking for a replacement for Jalen Pitre, if we decide we want to move on from him, And then Farley here, another run support. And then the next one is day 3 for Travis Way down here. Wow. So not too many zone safeties. It appears as if you want to get one, you're going to have to go early. And for Way, we don't know exactly what his zone is. We just know there's a range A to C. So we do know it's at least as good as the others that we have seen. But again, that speed. Decent to solid, marginal to decent. Not a good fit. So at this point right now, what I'm seeing is that Julian Chambers is definitely the guy that if we're going to go safety, I would like to get. He does have a round 1 to 2 projection, which tells me that we're going to have to take him early if we want to take him. And then looking at the mock draft, let's see if they have him going in this first round. I would assume if he is going to go, it's going to be right around here. Okay, so there's the first one. That's Jalen Elliott. So yep, they have him going at 25. Where are our picks at? 29. I just completely missed where we're currently picking right now. Oh, we're way up here at 10. Okay. So we would have an opportunity potentially to take him unless we completely turn our season around and end up with both of our first round picks after the mid 20s. I would like to be able to take him around this area though. I really don't want to reach for him at 10. So ideally, we would continue having a higher pick with our first round pick, and our second first round pick will end up falling a little bit more down the board, so it's not at 29. Now, can we count on that? No, we cannot. So we could always consider trading down as well if we do end up at a spot like 10, considering like looking here. But one thing though is Warren Williams, the guy they have us taking at 10, is an actual player that I'm actually really interested in. So Warren Williams is a guy I found when I was looking through the draft class. He's 6'6", 269 power rusher, and it looks like he's got some really good stuff to him. Now, of course, the finesse moves would be an issue, but if we have McManus as our finesse moves guy, and we can get a guy that's more of a power rusher / run stopper for the other side, that might end up being a great fit for us as we transition away from Jonathan Grenard as he gets a little bit older. He's got A tackle, A power move, B play rec. We know he's going to have at least average awareness for the draft class. It's only the finesse moves that are below a C. His block shedding at a C is a little bit iffy, but if he is that good as a power rusher, I'm assuming that would mean that we would just have to focus on run stopping for him, and that could end up faring well for us in the long run. But he is another round 1 target that I am considering right now. I was considering Rick Ferguson, but I was thinking that, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a top 5 pick. And if he does end up going at 8, that's great. But I'm not going to count on him going much later than this. And we have our speed rusher in McManus. I really want to have variety in our pass rushing game. And you can see that Miles Arnett, who is more of a 3-4 DN, more of a 3 technique in our situation, is going much earlier. But let's say we don't go after Warren Williams. There are a couple other players here that could be a good fit. I don't think we need another corner yet or a right tackle. Jermaine Hayward is here. His power move is at a C. Even though he is a speed rusher, he is still a little bit balanced. C block shed, C power move. He has A finesse move, which is nice, B play rec. So another option, I would really like to have a guy that's a power rusher on top of being a run stopper. But obviously we're not going to be able to get everything we want. And I don't want to go full run stopper either at defensive end, because now you're getting into 3-4 territory. And I just don't think this team is ready for a 3-4 adjustment, or if I even want to do that. So I'm not really looking at run stoppers or defensive tackles at this point. And with the linemen and the receivers going, it just seems like the best time for us to take advantage of these other positions being high by taking a guy like Williams and maybe taking a guy like Chambers. Now, will it happen? Who knows? But I think with our draft capital, if I really do like what I see from these guys, I can easily make moves to make it happen. I will be learning more about Chambers, because he seems to be like the only zone safety that's worth anything so far, given his projection. And Warren Williams seems to be one of the better defensive ends that I've seen as well. And when we're looking at the defensive ends as a whole, there's about 7 or 8 guys that are considered to be a first-round prospect. Of course, there's Ferguson, there's Gold, who we saw going super early, Hayward, who appears to be available the same time as Williams would be if we're sticking at 10. And then there's Danny Weber, if you want to consider him, he's at 1 to 2. And then at the right end, there is one guy guaranteed to go first round, essentially, which is Arnett, and we saw him going super early. And then Tracy Dunn and Otis Watts coming in later. Now, one thing that would be interesting is if a guy like Otis Watts ends up having good finesse move, really, he's actually might be a good fit for us too. Because I mentioned wanting a guy that can do both. Well, he's got A, awareness, he's got C, play recognition, he's got B, power move and block shedding, and he's got A, tackle. If that finesse move pans out to be at least a C, I think that's actually a pretty good opportunity for us. So him or Williams seems to be a good option. I only have 50% on both of them, so if I would learn more, I'd definitely have to focus on them, but that is something we can do. Like, we're gonna have 3 of them coming up. We could do Watts, and we could do Williams, and then we could maybe do a guy like Chambers and just see where we're at that point with them. I mentioned not going early for corner. That is true. I do, however, think about possibly bringing somebody in later. I think I did mention that on the last video. So the day 3 guys is where I'm sort of sticking by. Will Oakman was one of the guys, and I think he actually has 75 because I did corner as a secondary on one and a primary on another. He's 6'3", which really made him pop out to me. Zone coverage is a D. I don't know. C-man coverage though, like again, this is a day 3 guy, more of a project player, so I don't want to be too critical. Rashad Allen is another one from that same area. He's a lot smaller though, 5'11", so much shorter. He's got a little bit better speed and acceleration though. We know the man coverage is C. We don't know what the zone is. It could be a D, the same as Oakman. It could be better. So it looks like you're going to get a little bit more athleticism out of Allen, but you're not going to get that height. And then with Oakman at this point, you're going to get the height and the body type that you might want, but you're not going to get that explosiveness per se. And then there's Danny McNeil, who is even smaller than that at 5'9", and he's 23. Jordan McMillan is another option here. Day 3 guy, does have F man and marginal to decent. So I don't know if I want to go that much. I mean, if we're going to go with somebody who doesn't have all of the best skills, I would at least like to have the physicals or vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and consider McMillan crossed off at this point. Patrick Powers does have D man and C zone along with A press, but he is 23 years old. And he has solid to good speed and acceleration, not too bad. It seems to be the press is really the only thing. Well, the tackle is pretty decent at B as well. Here's Roman Monroe, who is another option. He has marginal to decent and everything, but he is 6'3" as well. It's almost the same body type as Oakman. Marginal to decent speed and excel and agility. Of course, with day 3 guys, you're going to be sort of picking between hairs here at this point, and Monroe and Oakman seem to be pretty on par with each other. And I do think that a quality matchup for us right now would be possibly the Seahawks. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to sim the next 2 weeks and see what happens. And then we're going to end up watching the Seahawks game. All right, so we do end up falling to the 49ers. 34-28 is actually a pretty good effort for us. I didn't think it would even be that close of a game, considering the 49ers are a really, really good team right now. We do have a new injury. Let's see who that is. It's Alfonso Redmond. So it looks like it's going to be on Broussard to step up. He's going to miss the next 6 weeks. Ouch. All right, and we end up bouncing back against the Cardinals, and we are now sitting at 4-5 here in week 10. All right, and then the last thing I want to do before we get to the game, yes, this is probably going to be a little bit longer of a video, but I want to get and check out what the stats are at so far throughout the season after 10 weeks. First things first, let's take a look at the standings. So the Cowboys are at 8-1. The best team in the league. The Colts 6-2, the Buccaneers 7-2, Browns 6-2, The Ravens, Titans, Chargers all at 6-3. The Bills, Bengals, and Lions all at 5-3. Falcons, Jaguars, Broncos all at 5-4. Chiefs, Bears, and 49ers at 4-4. And now we got the Cardinals, the Steelers, the Vikings, the Saints, the Panthers, the Dolphins, and us at 4-5. The Seahawks, Jets, Packers, Eagles, Raiders at 3-5. Commanders and Giants at 2-6. And the Rams and Patriots at 1-7 and 1-8. This is where we stand on the season for our stats. Dylan Gilbert, 2,500 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, averaging just under 70%, and his rating is just over 101 at 101.6. For rushing, Calvin Pearman is leading the way with 494, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Good to see that. He only has 1 touchdown, though, because it looks like Jamarian Sweet is hogging them all. 7 touchdowns for him, even though he's almost outpaced 2-1 for carries. That is weird to see. Alex Poe leading the way at receiver, 37 catches, 534, and 4 touchdowns. I do feel like his is going to go up a little bit now that we did get rid of Darius Slayton. His production should go up quite a bit, and so should Jordan Walker's. On defense, let's see what we got here. 4 sacks for Charles Omenihu, 4 for Jonathan Grenard, 3.5 for Braxton McManus, Alfonso Redmond with 2, Gregory Dean, who is a guy that I actually traded for. I don't know if he got those with us or if he already had them. Devin White, Dre Greenlaw, Eric Broussard, and DeAndre Chambers with a sack. Greedy Williams leading it with 3 interceptions. Devin White and Landry also have 1, so I think those are all interceptions we saw too. The sim is just weird, man. The sim is very weird. We are in Houston once again for another matchup. The last video we watched, we ended up coming away with the victory. Today we are going to be taking on the Seattle Seahawks, a team that we just talked about quite a bit before the game due to some of their roster moves and what they are going to be going through here in the next season or two. And today now we get a chance to see what this team looks like before it starts its rebuild process. No DK, no Jamal Adams, a younger roster. And really, if we can win this game, we get back to 500. So this is a very important matchup to us. We come in looking a little bit different today too. First game that we're going to see without Dameon Pierce, without Darius Slayton since beginning of this series. So a very important matchup. Can Gilbert use the tools we have? It's going to be a fun one. Let's go and see what we get. Seattle out here for their 3rd drive. We have not seen any of this game yet because nobody's doing anything. Daniel Jones throws it short, but it's incomplete, looking for Quinn. There was one big play that Daniel Jones made on the last drive to Quinn, the guy you just saw in that incompletion, for a big 28-yarder. And oh, fumble, there we go, big play. Devin White, I think, recovers it. Yes, it is. And we get a big turnover on defense. What a way to start this game off. For me, I've been watching it for a few minutes, but since there has been no action, I decided to just cut it out. And now we're going to open things up, though, at the 35. We had 2 3-and-outs the last time out, and Gilbert's now throwing short to Sweet. Sweet breaking free from Woolen, and he's brought down at the 30, a gain of 6. And as you can see by his stats, 4 of 5, 18 yards. A lot of checkdowns the last couple of drives, and it has not resulted in any first down yet. Handoff, Sweet, and there's the first down inside the 20 to the 18. A nice job. Inside the red zone, Gilbert looking to throw, fires, it's caught, breaking free for the touchdown is Alex Poe. There is a flag down. What is it going to be? Do we keep the touchdown or is it getting called back? It looks like they're showing the DB, and yes, it is pass interference. The touchdown will stand. It doesn't matter if you hold him, you still can't stop him. All right, first down after the fumble. Seattle comes out down by 7, handoff to Walker, and Walker up to the 30, a nice run of 5. Would expect them to see a lot more running with Walker, considering he is really their bell cow at this point. 92 overall X factor. Jones is going to throw it again under pressure. It's hit as he throws, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. 3 of 8, 38 yards. It's been that one big play that you guys did not see that has really given him his stats. Third down, rolling out, lets it go over the middle, and he finds Noah Fant. A beautiful throw by Daniel Jones with pressure in his face, and it's going to give them the first down they really needed. But you see, right up there, it said 9 passes, 1 rush. Here's the, play action. Jones heaving it down the left side and out of bounds. They have got to start running this thing. I'm just shocked they have not run it as much. I mean, you got one of the best running backs in the league right now. There, finally. Hey, look at that. Not even a good blocking job, and he still gets 6 yards as Greenlaw is down. We are still missing Redmond as he's out for quite some time. So you're going to see a mixture of Chambers and, oh, speaking of Chambers, him and Omenihu were there for the sack. But as I was saying before that sack happened, Omenihu is one, and of course you're going to see Broussard, but then I have Chambers coming in on passing situations as Sweet takes it off the left side for a gain of 4. We're going to go back to the ground. It's Pierman, and oh, he tries to get outside, but he's not able to. A nice job up front by Seattle, making sure that he did not get out there because there wasn't many out there for him. Oh, and there's Pierman. This time he finds a lane, jukes somebody out of his shoes. It's actually the new starter at safety. Can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but man, he got juked. Look at this nice little move. Great block up front by Kenyon Green on Barton, springing him free. Sort of a gutsy call to run it there in that situation on third down, but it works. We're going to go play action now. Gilbert throws it short, and it is off the hands of Harris. That was weird. 2nd and 10. Gilbert, a quick throw, and it's intercepted. It's Woolen, and he's gone. And that is one of the biggest playmakers they got. It's Tariq Woolen, and he just made us pay dearly. Looking for the short throw to Walker. He read it like a book, and Gilbert giving up a pick 6. Even tried to throw it back shoulder, but Woolen with that 98 speed still able to get back there, get in position, and make the play on the ball. Both teams suffering a turnover that led to scores. Seattle making theirs a little bit more immediate on that score, but now we come back out tied up 7-all. Gilbert scans, looks short, and overthrows Nico Collins. Let's hope he can rebound from this. We've seen what happens a couple weeks ago after he threw that interception. He just never recovered. Gilbert throws it short. This time it's broken up. Walker could not hold on. Wow. Very surprised to see him drop that. As Gilbert throws it outside. Poe's not going to drop it, though. A big catch along the sidelines, dragging his feet, and it's going to be a first down. That was a big-time play right there. After the pick 6, if we would have went 3 and out, yeah, I don't know what would have happened. Big play, and there goes Sweet around the corner. Sweet trying to break through. He'll get 6 yards, 4 for 23. I'm hoping he runs a little bit more with purpose now that he is technically a power back and not in between. Oh, a nice little juke move there by Sweet. Okay. 3rd and 1, and we're going to go 5 wide on 3rd and 1. Let's see what we got. Gilbert, a quick throw. Walsh with the catch, and Walsh with the first. And we flip sides here to start the second quarter and hand off to Pierman. And Pierman trying to fight through, but he cannot. He'll find 3 yards. It looked like whoever was supposed to block just did not get that last defender in the hole. Gilbert steps up, lets it go, and it's another interception. That was a bad throw. You can't throw that. That is not a good play by a corner. That is a bad throw by Dylan Gilbert. 2 defenders over there, and he just throws it up while being pressured. Wow, not a good look at all. Jones back to the air. And he's going to chuck it down to Walker, and Walker gets the first down. Now instead of 2nd and 4, it is 2nd and 9 thanks to a false start. And they're going to hand it off to Walker, who tries to cut it back left side, but we're ready regardless. Gain of 1. And now with 3rd and 8, they're going to go 5 wide. Fant in the slot to the right. Jones Lets it go. Wide open receiver. It's Tyler Lockett. And Lockett is down inside the 20. Can we hold on here and force 3? Oh, high snap, recovers, gets it to Walker, and Walker bullying his way forward for a first, and now Damian Lewis is hurt. Lewis was actually just re-signed by the Seahawks. They actually had a slew of re-signings, but Lewis was one of them, re-signing him to a 3-year deal. As Jones looking for the end zone, he throws it short, and it's incomplete. I formation. It's a play action. Jones under pressure to the end zone. Touchdown! Tyler Lockett, the 32-year-old, the longtime veteran, getting the job done. And now, after a beautiful punt from Seattle, we're back at our own 2. Handoff to Sweet, and he'll get us a little bit breathing room. Nice to see that. 2nd and 6 as we come up on the 2-minute warning. We'll get one more play. It's a rollout. I don't like it, but he'll throw it short, and Walsh makes the catch. What a play. I wasn't a fan of the call, but it worked. 1st and 10. Gilbert throws it over the middle again to Walsh, and he's got a first down to the 33. We got 1:40 to work with and 3 timeouts. Empty backfield. Gilbert looking over the middle, wide open. It's Walker, and he's inside the 35 to the 34. A huge opening up the middle, and Walker finally getting one. 38 yards. Welcome to the game. First down. Gilbert. Another quick throw to Walker, and he's down to the 26. We have flipped field in just about, what, a minute and a half, and only used 1 timeout to do so. Can Gilbert keep it up? Empty backfield. Gilbert throwing it short, throws it a little late, but it gets the job done. 53 seconds left. We called our 2nd timeout. Gilbert over the middle. It's caught by Poe again, and another flag down. Is it a penalty on defense? It is. 2nd time Poe has made a huge play with the defense draped all over him. And now that's going to save us our timeout. Can we answer back and tie this thing up before halftime? Gilbert, blitz is coming, fires, touchdown, Alex Poe, make it 2 for the day. A 98-yard drive with 2.5 minutes left. Gilbert answering back for his earlier mistakes with a huge drive here to end things at the halfway point. We have a very small shot at making something happen yet with 21 seconds left, and I sort of hope we don't get too crazy with it, but I think we might. Uh-oh, yep, Gilbert's going deep. Oh my God, it's caught again in double coverage. Are you serious? Alex Poe is a monster. And he gets it on Bryant again, but it doesn't matter. But that's going to stop the clock and allow us to kick a field goal. We can flip this with a 10-point difference. Just like that. Wow. Alex Poe is possessed today, and it has led us to 10 straight points. And we will flip sides of the field again because Madden just loves doing it. As we open up the second half, and after Alex Poe's absolutely tremendous performance, 6 catches, $120, and 2 touchdowns. Wow, coming down with huge catches in double coverage multiple times while getting held and getting flags thrown, and still made the catch. Wow, I can't believe how that first half went. And again, there's Collins, and the Seahawks defense is trying desperately. Another pass interference call, but it's going to be declined because, again, we made the catch. Second one for Ojemudia. I'm sure I said that wrong. That's 2 on him and 2 on Bryant. Gilbert. Deep over the middle, and it's Sweet. Okay, it wasn't as deep as I thought it was. But all right, 1st and 10. Here we go. Gilbert over the middle, and another catch. Collins. Pierman is in motion out wide right. Wow, those are words. As Gilbert scans inside. Walker stretching out, rolling down to the 6. Handoff to Sweet. Powering through and in for the touchdown, and just like that, we go from down 14-7 with 2.5 to go in the first half to up 24-14 after the first drive of the second half. Like 17 crazy quick points scored by this offense. Seattle with a chance to try and claw out of this deficit. Now a big handoff to Walker as he flies up the left side for a big first down run. Nice job. Finally starting to let him run, and it's opened this offense up a lot. Jones under pressure again, gets rid of it short. And now a little handoff out of the pistol set. He'll get just a yard. Honestly, with how this game has gone, I'd almost just give it to him again. He's been able to churn out 4 yards, but they don't. They're going to throw it, and they get it. Quinn with the catch. Nice little pivot route, finding that open spot in the zone. Big set, 3 tight ends all lined up on that right side. They're going for the stretch play. Walker, and we do a great job of holding on to the line and not giving up big gaps. A gain of 1. And now they'll go opposite of that. Full empty set and a short throw outside for Fant. Plays coming in quick succession here, 3rd and 5. Uh-oh, under pressure. Walker's got it, and he's got the first. Gets just enough. And they got it out clean. As another one for Walker, breaks through from 1, almost gets past Bonner. 1st and 10. Oh, beautiful route by Locke, and he burned Greedy Williams. And that's a touchdown. Once again, hitting that pivot route, and he just burned him. Down by 3, Seattle making this a game once again. Sort of stopping the bleed of what that last couple of quarters was, and there goes Sweet off the left side, breaking free out to the 45. Big run. But to go down 14-7 and then fire back to make it 24-14. Seattle does a nice job as Dahl makes his first catch of the regular season. And we'll flip sides of the field for the 3rd time. 2nd and 6. Gilbert, a quick throw. Poe makes the catch, and I don't think he's got it. No, he's going to be just short. And I have a feeling we're going to run it with Sweet. Question is Seattle ready for it? Because it looks like they are. They got the box stacked. No, it's Hendricks, and Hendricks gets the first down. Let's see what we got here. Blitz is coming. It's picked up enough for him to get rid of it to Sweet, and Sweet with a big play down to the 12. 1st and 10, play action, rollout. Gilbert throws it short to Sweet, who's got a little bit of an edge, and he's down to the 4. Another play action rollout, and another throw. Sweet makes the catch, dives into the end zone for a touchdown. Barton almost had it. Sweet concentrates, holds on, and then diving his way for the touchdown. 30-21. Now I go back to the air. Jones heaving this thing to the end zone. It's incomplete, but there's a flag down, and it's going to be on Greedy Williams. Pass interference. Oh, man, that was a touchy one. That was a touchy one, but hey, they called them towards for us. They're going to call them against us. 1st and goal from the 1. Jones, quick throw, touchdown. It's Noah Fant. Seattle answering back again. He's only had a few carries. Oh, there he goes. There he gets one breaking off of Barton. Only 5. We've actually been running out of power a lot more. Which, I mean, it's not... I don't have that many power plays. Oh, a beautiful throw. Another quick throw and another catch. It's Nico Collins. You know, I was very apprehensive about trading Slayton, but it seems as if Collins has stepped into that role. Well, not his exact role, but just into the role, and has really just helped us continue. There doesn't seem to be much of a difference right now in our available targets for Gilbert, which is awesome to see. And there he is again. He's going to be just short of the first, but a nice catch on the sideline. And here's where I'd like us to run it with Pierman. We got him spread out a little bit, and that's exactly what we do when we get that first down. Spinning off of contact inside the 20. Nice little bit of running there. Uh-oh, blitz is coming, and we do a good job of picking that thing up. Handoff, Sweet up the middle, and he's going to churn his way forward for 6. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning, and this play right here could be the difference between game and being a little worried on the next drive. Gilbert looking under pressure, throws it short, it's incomplete. The pressure gets there, and Seattle's defense does its job. They're going to go straight into hurry-up mode. They still have all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time. Jones over the middle. Another quick pass, another catch. Oh, what a fumble! And Landry recovers it, and that's going to be game. What a play. We thought we had the fumble earlier. This time, there is no questioning that one. A big hit over the middle by Greedy Williams. And then Landry there to pick it up. When we needed a big play on defense, they may have given up 28 points. Oh no, 21, because one was a pick 6. But they get the job done. Greedy Williams, who gave up the last touchdown, coming back to answer back and force the fumble on the following drive to seal the game for us. You can't write that any better. Wow, just awesome to see. What a performance. Dylan Gilbert has looked like a whole different quarterback since I got him out of that scrambler stuff. So let that be a lesson to you guys. If you're playing the game the way I play, the scrambler is just not it this year. You can't do it. Field general can do it. Strong arm can do it, but not the scramblers anymore. Not this Madden. And we're going to close it out with a super long field goal for Patterson. And we're going to make that field goal to make it look like a little bit better of a performance. 37-28. We're going to get the win, and we're going to go back to 500. I really thought we were in for some trouble after those 2 interceptions by Gilbert, but he ends up turning it around, putting on a show, and just, wow. I mean, let's check this stat line out. 389 yards, 3 touchdowns after throwing those 2 interceptions. That's big. That is big time. 35 of 47, 74% completions. He was on fire. Now, I don't want him throwing that much, but we didn't have much of a choice in this game. After falling behind early, we sort of had to throw it. And even though we did have to throw it, we did run it as well. Jamarian Sweet, 13 for 76, almost 6 yards on average. And Pierman, 8 for 48. He did average 6 yards per carry. So overall, the offense itself just played tremendous football. Alex Poe was a monster. Man, I mean, to see some of the catches he made, I was just insane. And 7 for 126, 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins coming out of nowhere, 6 for 63. Jamarian Sweet, 7 for 61. Walker getting involved. Like, everybody got involved in this game and made it tremendous for this offense. Defensively, they did give up 3 touchdowns. They did. But we also came away with a couple of sacks. 3 of them to be exact. Oh, 3.5? How do we get 3.5 sacks? Explain that. So, I guess 2.5 for Gennard and then a half for Amenhue and Chambers each. That's weird. I mean, that's not even possible, but okay. No interceptions, but we did get that forced fumble at the end, of course, to seal it. Big time play. Just an awesome performance all around. And I mean, now we're still last place in our division, so we're still quite a ways behind everybody. I don't know what this season's going to hold yet. I'm going to think about it a little bit, and then we'll see what I decide that I want to do moving forward for this season. We do have a couple of big games coming up, the Chargers and the Bengals. I don't know if those are games that I want to watch or not yet. But then we have our Week 13 bye, so really what we could do is we could skip through the bye week and then regroup after and just see where things are at. But for this video, that is all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider dropping a like if you haven't already, and dropping a sub if you haven't already. I'm so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is my first goal. And who knows, by the time you guys see this one, I might have already hit it. And if so, thank you so much for that. And turn that bell notification on so that you know when I upload some more Texans content or some other content that you guys might enjoy. And I'll see you guys next time.